Now it's time for Inspirational Women, and my guests, both with WOW, Washington Outdoor Women. Ronnie McGlenn is the founder and the past executive director. The new executive director is Jen Syrowitz, with her own personal story of reaching this amazing position. Together, they are here to tell great stories about WOW and what we all may discover. Really, maybe it's something we've been searching for and just didn't know how to find it. So let's meet Jen and Ronnie. Wow. I'd love to say that, Washington Outdoor Women. And so welcome, Jen Syrowitz and Ronnie McGlenn. It's so wonderful to have you here. And yes, wow, this is so great to be together and to discuss all that you have in store to share with us. So welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. We love being here, having the opportunity.
And I love the fact that you are doing the work that you're doing. So we'll go back a few years and you can tell us how many, because Ronnie, you're the founder. Currently now, Jen, you are the executive director, but you held that role for a long time, right,
Long
Ronnie?
time.
Yeah.
Over
But
20 years.
As the founder then, 20 years? Is that how long it's been?
Yes. Still going.
And more strongly than ever.
Yeah. In 1998, we founded WOW on the simple premise that we wanted to get more women in the outdoors. The reason that they were hesitant is fear of getting lost back then. Remember, this was before the digital age and cell phones and satellite phones and whatnot. And so we were teaching the basics, map and compass and survival. And forward now 22 years, and we now teach 30 skills, have over 30 instructors and a logistics team of 12. And the program is growing and is successful as ever.
Which means, since it's growing, that there's just this demand and interest, because it wouldn't grow if it were otherwise.
Well, to your valid point, I mean, women in the past didn't have the opportunity to learn basic skills to get out in the outdoors, not as much as the men did. And so at 20 years, when I needed to retire, we said, this program is growing, it's exciting, and it's going to expand, and we need someone capable and knowledgeable about the program to lead it from here on in. And that's Jen Syrowitz, our new executive director for WWF and our director for WOW. And she came from within the program. She taught survival for 5 or 6 years and was actually introduced to it as a participant. And the side note on a lot of our instructors, well, just about all of our instructors and team, is that they started out as WOW participants. So one of the requirements for going into the coordinating factor was that you know the program from the inside as well as the outside. So you had to experience as a participant first. So
Totally makes sense.
we found Jen, our excellent choice, and she assumed the directorship of the program. And back then, I think we were capable of doing 3 or 4 workshops. Now we're up to 7 or 8, maybe heading for 10 in a year. And she also wears another hat, and that is the executive director for the Washington Wildlife Federation, which is our parent nonprofit home.
That's dual hats like that. They both sound really huge, and you're so petite. So kind of let's go back to, though, as a participant, how long ago and why did you get involved?
I moved to Washington State in October 2010, and I went for a hike off I-90 in Mount Washington. I think I went with my dog and my sneakers. No water, no map. Ran into snow, crossed a river I shouldn't have crossed. Got home safe and decided if I was going to explore my new home, I needed to have the skills, just like Ronnie talked about, So I think I Googled map and compass, and up popped Washington Outdoor Women, and that changed my life. I went to my first workshop in 2011, immediately fell in love with the program, begged Ronnie to volunteer, got on the team, started teaching survival skills. You know, I've met my closest friends through this program. I think, you know, Ronnie is a phenomenal human with just the passion and the dedication and the heart that has flourished this program to what it is today. And that really has been what the staying power is the relationships that she has cultivated, the women that she's brought together to build the foundation of what is WOW. When you come to WOW, you are then part of our community. We're unique in that it's women teaching women. Almost, 98% of our instructors are women, and that provides a safe, comfortable environment for instruction. Lots of laughs, lots of giggles, lots of, no stupid questions.
And I think that definitely is the advantage of having women teaching women, because there isn't going to be a stupid question because we have that understanding, right?
Sure. Yep. Yeah, Ronnie was a visionary. And, as more people move to Washington State, as development increases and encroachment in wild places, our conservation message is coming through more loud and more clear as we build these skill programs. All of these, threads integrate into building a community that, embraces, is empowered by the resource, and also protects it.
Right. And it's interesting that you decided in the 10 years ago, that you needed survival skills if you were going to be going out. And here you are teaching that. That is no coincidence. That makes such good sense.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you learn, you want to share that with others. Mm-hmm. You want everybody to know what you know, and you want to learn more too, which you end up learning from students and their experiences that they've had out in nature. So it's a gift to be able to offer that, to give back in that way, like WOW gave to me.
Yeah, and we've always known that discovering the outdoors was a gift that keeps on teaching, and so you also have to keep on learning. And in all my years, I've never known or heard of anybody that's instantly an expertise. So we have many people that continue to come back and take more skills, but it is an introduction. It is a basic skills, hands-on learning situation. And I think one of the greatest points of its staying power, as Jan says, is its instructors, who, by the way, all volunteer their time and their expertise, and their reward, which is better than pay, is just the exhilarating feeling that they get helping other women attempt to start their own journey and experience what these instructors have known.
That is so exciting and empowering.
It is. Mm-hmm.
Which is why WOW, again, the acronym then, is so fitting for what is going on in so many ways. And the fact that it's growing. So you mentioned, Ronnie, and both of you can jump in on this, that there are now 8 workshops that go on throughout the years, right? Mm-hmm. And potentially will be 10, which is a repeat of some, or is it just, how does that work?
No, they're each unique. And we have the parallel opportunity of teaching not just adults, but youth. So that we have our adult workshops, and then we also have our pre-WOW workshops, which are for mothers and daughters. This year was age 7 to 13. And we give them 3 or 4 basic skills, and they learn together, and they play off of each other's strengths. And it's very interesting to see the molding of these young stewards of the resource that are excited about learning more in the outdoors.
Or grandmas and granddaughters, or nieces and
that's right. Doesn't
aunts
have to be a
or
mom.
friends. Yeah, but it's a lot of fun to see these young girls at a stage where they're slowly turning into young women, and seeing that transformation and that confidence building.
Confidence, yes.
Yeah, and doing it with someone they love and trust. It makes a big difference.
And I can see that bond probably strengthening
Yes.
through the process, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, and I'm sure part of the adult thinking of wanting their child to get closer to nature is a bit more of a departure from their devices. You know,
Yeah.
get off those cell phones and have not just a vicarious experience, but an actual experience, which is empowering, especially at that age, learning a skill that probably a lot of your friends don't know anything about. So that opens another conversation for friendship in their young lives. But it has been fun to watch.
So that is one of the workshops that happens in the year, right?
Correct. Yeah. So we started off 2019 with snowshoeing in January. Then our annual waterfowling workshop is a one-day intensive on duck hunting. And then we offered flint napping, which was a brand new one for us this year. And if you don't know what flint napping is, it's breaking rocks with a purpose. It's how they created arrowheads and stone tools and those kinds of things back in, centuries ago.
So a quick question, and we'll move on. It's new. So how does something then come out like this? Why did you decide to have the flint mapping?
Well, the connections that we make and the networks that we build introduce us to people with these skills that are looking to share, just like we spoke about earlier, and bring more women into the fold, reintroduce them to ancient, innate skills that are interesting, self-sustaining, creative. Flint napping fit all those criteria for us.
Yeah, some of these skills go back to the pioneer days too.
Right.
You know, and we like to draw that connection that living in the world that we live today, many people are disconnected from those skills, but their interest is piqued when we offer something like that. I think, oh, I bet my great-grandfather or great-grandmother did that. So we have what we call our traditional skills that we offer, and then our more recreational skills that are necessary for a successful experience in the outdoors. And some of our traditional skills would be big game hunting,
fishing,
archery,
fly fishing, and freshwater fishing.
archery, map and compass, shellfish gathering.
That was another intensive one-day workshop this year that we offered for the first time in a long time. Out on the Hood Canal, shucking their first oysters and collecting their clams.
Yeah, I mean, it's right here to take advantage of. And the big part of this is, what do you do with it after you've gathered it or caught it? You know?
Right.
So that was part of the workshop, too. Not just enjoying the food, but learning how to prepare it correctly.
We actually had the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife Puget Sound bivalve specialist teaching that class for us. And, I mean, she's a state expert on mollusks and bivalves. And, you know, we are so fortunate to have these women volunteering their time and expertise. And so we learned all about how to safely choose a beach. You know, you don't want toxicity getting into your shellfish when you're eating it. And so these intensive classes walk you through the very beginnings of where to go, how to find it, what's safe, what's not, the tools, the how to harvest, the how to cook. She shared her famous Clamzilla recipe with our students. Wow. So it's a full immersion.
And some people asked, you know, how do you come up with these instructors? And from the very beginning, I soon learned that there were a lot of capable and exceptional women out there doing these things. They just weren't blowing their own horns. And we've managed to find quite a few of them that consider this just, you know, something that's part of their lives. But to others, it's just absolutely incredible, the amount of expertise that they have.
And thus to keep sharing it and expanding that circle of knowledge is just incredibly exciting.
Our most recent workshop that we just finished up was Shotgun, which was a one-day intensive learning everything there is to know about a shotgun. Again, you know, the mechanisms, the actions, the ammo, safety first and foremost, handling, carrying, and then how to hit those clays. And that's a skill and also potentially a sport, trap shooting and skeet, playing the sport of skeet, as well as an intro to getting out in the field and potentially harvesting grouse or ducks.
Or with our waterfowl workshop.
Right.
Yeah. I bring this up because I think that this is something that makes WOW unique in the world of outdoor education and wilderness education in Washington. We offer these traditional skills, an intro to. So if you've never held a firearm before, or you're simply curious about, big game hunting, you come to WOW and you learn about the ethos, the philosophy, the safety,
The ethics.
Everything involved in that type of skill. I think, offering hunting and fishing and foraging and harvest sets us apart a little bit, and offering the supplemental classes as well, survival skills, as Ronnie said, all these things that complement, getting out there and hunting or fishing is important. But I like that we're a little bit unique in that way.
Oh, we are unique.
No question.
Wow.
Precisely.
But through the years, we have really thought about the course diversity because, as Jen says, if you are going to successfully participate in the outdoors, you have to have survival or map and compass or wilderness first aid or fire building or knot tying. There's so many components that you can bring together, and that's why we offer a choice of 3 or 4 classes at a weekend workshop, so that if somebody was interested in building this core knowledge, they have that chance to take that variety of courses.
So you have this wonderful, magnificently large fall weekend workshop coming up, right?
Yes, we are. This is our 22nd annual fall weekend workshop. It is happening September 13th, 14th, 15th. So it starts Friday evening. Late afternoon starts at 4:30 as check-in, and it runs until about 2 o'clock on Sunday, the 15th. We are going to be at a new location this year at Lazy F Camp near Ellensburg in the beautiful Monastash Canyon. We're hoping for maybe a little less rain on that side of the mountains this year.
So you can bring your tent.
Yeah, bring your tent. It's either tent or heated cabins. All your meals are included. Choose your workshops online and come for just a weekend that could change your life.
The camaraderie is really special.
Yeah.
And it is, for some people to come individually is tough into a new situation.
I almost didn't come. I almost did not come my first year. I was new to the state. I was feeling kind of shy, and I put my big girl panties on and I went.
Yeah.
And I met my best friend and this program, which has obviously changed my life.
And a new career.
Ultimately. A new career.
Not knowing that initially. But
how incredibly
so many
fortunate.
that come individually then go home feeling a member of a community, of a very special women's group, and I think it carries over in many parts of their lives. So many of them are looking for a balance to their lives that would include exposure to nature, but also friendships of like people that enjoy the same things that they do. And it opens up a lot of opportunities for these gals.
And how many women are we talking about that gather together for that?
Yeah, there's about 120 participants on site, plus another 30-some volunteer instructors and team members making it all happen.
About 150.
Yeah, there's about 150 strong.
Wow, again.
Yeah, you get 150 women together, and that's a lot of energy.
No kidding. Yeah. So what we should mention right now is how to register. You mentioned going online, Jen.
Yeah, WashingtonOutdoorWomen.org. Pretty easy. WashingtonOutdoorWomen.org is our website. you'll see registration open at the top of the webpage. You just click on that. Check out the different classes that are being offered this year. There's upwards of 20 classes this year.
And you take 4.
And you take 3.
Oh, 3.
3.
Okay.
Yeah, because each class is 4 hours. So it's a strong immersion that you can, theory through to practice and hands-on skill building within that period of time. So choose your 3 classes and then pack your bags.
And we do fill the rest of the weekend with some pretty interesting activities.
Yes. Yep. There'll be scavenger hunt and
special presentation by a mystery speaker.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be full. Oh, can't forget to mention, obviously our volunteer instructors are the pillars of the program, but we have many sponsors that we couldn't do this without. The Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation has been with us for 20-some years, and they have given us tens of thousands of dollars towards scholarships. So we do offer several partial scholarships to people that are attending WOW for the first time. All that information is available again online when you go to register. And certainly, REI has become a great supporter. The Department of Fish and Wildlife. Filson is a longtime supporter. But yeah, be aware of that RMEF scholarship opportunity.
And also WWF, which is our parent organization, Washington Wildlife Federation. We should probably explain a little bit about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I was brought on as the executive director for the Washington Wildlife Federation, and then part of that role is to oversee the WOW program. This has been a perfect nexus of my passions, empowering women in the outdoors and wildlife advocacy. And so I look at this as an opportunity to not only build a community of confident outdoor women, but build a bridge to take action that protects that nature and that resource that we long to use, that we want to deliver in good shape to the next generations. And so you can expect to see more of that conservation effort moving forward into the future, really building stewardship for the resource in Washington State. So
WWF was a perfect meld of philosophies for WOW, thus their acceptance of our program. But they are concerned with habitat, with advocacy for the resource, public access. They realize that, habitat means home to critters as well as humans, and how we care for it is going to be extremely important in the future. Man-made development is paving over a lot of countryside, and there may be some kind of climate change coming down the pike that's going to affect all of us. And so just creating an awareness about this and perhaps a willingness to stay involved and advocate for some of these important items coming down the pike is something that we also try to instill in our participants.
And I would imagine that almost happens by like osmosis, because once you get involved in nature and some of these different activities, you can't help but want to preserve it.
That's right.
and really care for it.
If you've had an experience on that river or on that trail or on that beach, right away that will cause you to pay attention if something is happening regarding that resource. So that we hope that connection, is cemented. That's part of our passion about this program, is that reconnecting people with nature and the resource is going to be so critical in the future. And that's why we love to include the next generation.
Yes, get them started young. But when we come to this fall weekend workshop, the young ones are not, it's just adult women, correct?
Right.
Just 18 and up for the signature weekend workshop. But speaking of the next generation, you might ask, what is in store as this program continues to grow? The Washington Wildlife Federation has for some time been interested in pursuing families, building relationships between families and the land. And so we are in the planning stages of building a family workshop to launch in 2020 that does exactly that. A lens of skill building, hands-on, fun,
Yeah.
but, with the goal being to build connections between family members and the outdoors.
Many of the young families that we run into don't know how to get started. They want to pursue time in the outdoors, but if they have young children and they're busy and they haven't had a parent that's taught them a particular skill, then it really takes intention to make this happen. And so we're trying to facilitate that opportunity a little bit more by saying, come and learn how to get started from these people that have been doing it, and we'll answer your questions and give you some tips. So we're looking forward to that.
It sounds so incredible. And that's how you're just organically expanding and growing and developing, because it's a natural situation for, everywhere. But here in the Northwest, where it still is so natural and so beautiful, we want to preserve that.
Yeah.
And it's going to take everybody. I think WOW is a unique community because we bring everybody to the table. So if you're interested in, backpacking, we offer backpacking. If you're interested in survival skills, we offer survival skills. If you're curious about hunting or fishing, we have ample opportunities to learn more about those.
And we teach Dutch oven cooking, which can be a real help in a disaster.
But it means that you have women from all walks of life coming to WOW, all different interests, all different backgrounds, all different economic spheres.
Or ages.
And ages. And that helps to build bridges between, different communities, people that use nature in different ways, whether you harvest from it or simply hike it, all of those minds and perspectives are coming together and learning from each other and understanding where the other person is coming from, living together for a weekend. These are things that in my mind are really lacking today. This sense of extending a hand across a boundary and learning about something that you know nothing about, simply to broaden your understanding and your knowledge of the different communities out there that are also using nature. Ultimately, it's going to take all of us that enjoy nature in one way or another to come together to protect it. And so I'm inspired by the Federation and by Washington Outdoor Women bringing these communities together. I think we're going to do some pretty great things, lifting each other up and also conserving the resource in the long term.
Well, as an observer, at this point at least.
Oh, you've got to come.
Yes, well, absolutely. But from this perspective, this is my third opportunity of having spoken to you or hear you speak about this, and I can see where it's just growing, and your passion is just something that is priceless. And so we are so fortunate that you have this passion and these dreams, because we're all only going to benefit from it, and we can participate too.
Please participate.
Please.
We got to be participants in this journey together.
Indeed. Well, Jen Syrowitz and Ronnie McGlenn, it's just been such a wonderful experience of having you with us this morning, and let's all get together and enjoy each other's growth and company.
Yes.
In the outdoors.
Yes.
In the outdoors.
Thank you, Kate. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. And with that, we're at the end of a very full hour of Inspirational Women with Jen Syrowitz and Ronnie McGlenn. and Sunday Morning Magazine with Dr. John Putulil. I'm Kate Daniels, your host, and I greatly appreciate your sharing this hour with me and these special guests. For details you might have missed or information you'd like to know, please just send me an email, kated@warm1069.com, and I'll get right back to you. Also, if you'd like to listen again or share these important stories with your family and friends, find the podcast on our Warm 1069 webpage. Click on the On-Air tab, then Sunday Mornings, and look for the show and guest names. I now wish you and your family a day of committing to personal health in its multiple variations. Have a week of the same, and then please plan to join me again next weekend for another hour of Sunday Morning Magazine and Inspirational Women on Warm 1069. Good morning.